What's up, Bryce? We're back. Didn't get really a chance to summarize our picks from last week, but we're live again a little later than usual on Saturday. How's it been going?
Oh, it's been going. It's windy as hell.
Yeah, it's crappy here in Indiana. Crappy weather, nice and cold. Before we get going though, I finally got the Foskey mini helmet. Got the little certify, legit. All time sack leader.
Legit.
All-time sack leader at Notre Dame. Kind of cool. Just a collection piece to go.
You needed to rub that before the USC game.
It didn't work. It didn't work at all. Um, Real quick, how awesome was it for Caleb Williams to get humbled? It was nice. That's the answer, Bryce. It was nice.
Grant has a little bit of salt in the wound still from the game.
What kind of grown man paints their fingernails and that I don't
He's
whatever
weird.
it
I'm
says.
not saying he's
Fucking
not weird.
D.
He's
That's
talented but
weird.
weird.
That's weird as hell that you even thought to do that. And then Utah shoved it up your ass for the second time this year. So enjoy that, Caleb, as you sit there all off season, not making the playoff, couldn't carry your team, a bunch of mud balls. Notre Dame was already not doing anything anyway. So
Well,
sucks to
he
suck.
truly won't care. If he wins the Heisman and goes pro or does whatever, like, he won't care.
He's not going pro this year. He can't. But either way, kind of moving forward. So let's get into like picks and whatnot. What are you feeling this week?
Small slate this week, 9 game slate, so nothing looks overly super good because with the teams being so close, a lot of the people like split their picks on everything. I would lean towards taking games that you feel more confident in, like you personally know the teams this week. And
That's fair.
if I had to choose between TCU and Kansas State, since I like Texas and Texas has played both, I personally think TCU is a better team. So I think TCU is going to win. But I know Kansas State is getting a bunch of money brought in on them because the line's going the other way.
So you're going TCU money line at minus 120 right now.
I mean, I would probably take the spread just for some more juice. I mean, it's as long as it's below like 2, and I think it is. It's been going the other
It's
way.
minus 1.5 on TCU at minus 104. I don't know if that's worth the juice. I'd rather probably just play the straight up dub because man, wouldn't it suck to lose something just because they didn't win by two. They hit a last second field goal.
Yeah, Kansas State, man. I don't know. Lost to TCU, Texas, and Tulane. I mean, three pretty good teams, but
For sure.
it's still Kansas State, man. I don't know. I don't feel good laying money on Kansas State, and since I've watched both these teams this year and I watched Texas play them, I would just if I'm gonna be on one side of it, I'd rather be on the TCU side. Plus, I think their quarterback's better. The only thing I really like for Kansas State is a Deuce Vaughn.
That's all you like at a Kansas State.
Pretty much, man. I
Sheesh.
wasn't. I mean, Deuce Vaughn got shut down at Texas. He went 19 for 73 with a 11-yard run as a long against Texas. So
That's fair. I think my first pick of the day, I think I've decided is going to be young Deuce Vaughn, 2 touchdowns. You can get it on FanDuel at plus 120. It's just a game that I think has the potential for a lot of points to be scored. We kind of have a preface, like an outline that we can look at off of their last game. Deuce did get in the end zone once. He didn't get an abundance of carries, but he
that's
also gets
gonna.
work in the passing game. So it kind of makes it, I
So you
wouldn't
got that as
go
two anytime touchdowns or 2 rushing
two
touchdowns?
anytime touchdowns. So on FanDuel, they don't tell you what it's got to be. It's anytime. So 2 touchdowns from Deuce plus 120 is definitely worth probably like a half unit to a unit. If my unit was $10, I'd play it for a unit. Um, I think that it gives the best possibility of return just because of how much work he gets. You know, when you're projected to get over 100 yards every game, you know you're getting the ball. You know what I mean? Like you
Yeah,
have to look at opportunity.
I don't know if I could back that just because he's like I'm all about volume. If I this dude's not getting volume, but he is explosive. He is super explosive and he could touch the ball and just take it 50 yards instantly for a
He
touchdown. So he
he's
necessarily doesn't
getting
need the volume.
volume. He got okay. So
He
to
only
put it in
dude in the
perspective,
TCU game when they played TCU the first time, this dude only touched the ball 16 times, 12
that's a
running and
lot.
4 passing.
That's a lot.
Other games he's touched it 30 something plus times, man. That's not a lot. You
Yeah, but
lost
that's
that
what I'm
game and
saying. So
didn't
you
give it to
see,
your best
okay.
player. It makes no
So
sense.
in a game that he only touched the ball 16 times, he scored a touchdown and ended up with 100 all-purpose yards. So if he gets the ball more this game, I mean, I'm just saying, like, on his bad day, he's scoring a touchdown and getting 100 all-purpose. That's not even a bad day, but you get what I'm saying. Like, if he gets the ball, it really ultimately it's up to K-State's offense in general because they've got to be in a position for him to succeed, basically. But that's what I'm rolling with first play. What do you got for a second one? Also, just a side note, went over last week on all my picks because Notre Dame shit the bed. So still sitting below 500. I honestly kind of lost track of where we were at because we stopped writing them down, or at least I stopped writing my
Grant
picks
stopped
down.
writing them down. Bryce didn't stop writing them down. We don't know about Tyler. Tyler might somewhat have an idea what he went.
Yeah, not sure. He's unavailable today.
I went 2-1 last week. Marshall came through and Syracuse BC over came through in the fourth. They scored like 30, 40 points in the fourth quarter. It was insane.
It slapped. We talked about that one a lot before we went on.
But we found that late, dude. We were like, oh, 47. We're like, oh, I had me nervous, too. They only scored 10, 12
but we
points.
said it, though. What did I say? I said if Boston College scores 14, that it's probably hitting. Like,
yeah, they ended up just blowing up, though. The whole fourth just blew up. You could have live bet that game and made so much money on that.
Sure. What do you have a second pick, or you want me to give mine?
I'll do my second one. I got a little parlay action. We'll do UCF versus Tulane. We'll take the over at 57. And then we'll take the Boise State versus Fresno State Boise money line. That'll get you at plus 218 for 1 unit.
I'm gonna steal one from you, Bryce. We talked about it earlier. Troy's running back, Kamani Vidal, 2 tuds.
Oh, you're taking him for 2?
I'm taking him for 2 at plus 135. I mean, he's a stud.
What's his regular line? Just like minus 250. I think it's 240 or 250 on DK. It might actually be 260 for him to score. He's actually really good.
Look, just because I'm not.
I can't even spell. How do you spell his name? Vidal.
Kimani Vidal, Vidal. So his last 2 games, he's gotten the rock an average
he had
of
4
31.
touchdowns last game.
Yeah, he's gotten the rock. He's touching it at his last 2 games. He's averaging 30 carries, and he had 2 and 4 touchdowns. Now, granted, before that, his workload was lighter, so it really kind of depends on what kind of defense Coastal Carolina feels like playing today.
I know Coastal Carolina pretty well. Their defense is their offense is really what won them games, and their quarterback got hurt. Did JMU just skunked them last week? It was bad. That was my play that missed last week was Coastal Carolina, and they got thrashed. I will not be putting money on them.
So basically what you're saying is that it could easily slap.
Yeah, I like Troy to win that game. The spread and the money line's a little too far the other way for me to like really take it unless I was going to parlay it, but I do like that play.
And then my last one. Oh man, what do I like? Let's see.
There's really not too much more to like. These games are pretty spot on. I really don't mind LSU plus 17.5.
This is, I was looking at that. This is kind of a force pick.
It's a lot.
Because honestly, I don't really necessarily think there's 3 like plays that I personally like, but I could totally see Georgia LSU being like 7-3 at the end of the first half.
I was thinking about that too. It's just so many points. You got it 17.5. I mean, you're like you get two touchdowns and a field
Well,
goal.
I was kind of thinking under 51 and a half. I don't think LSU is going to score on Georgia like that personally.
LSU's last game against Texas A&M was just rough. That's the only thing that has me backpedaling on this.
Though that's why I'm thinking the under. Okay, but here's the deal. Georgia could score 35 and LSU could score 7 and the under slaps. You know what I'm saying? Like
Oh
LSU could
yeah.
score 10 and the under slaps, 35-10, 35-13. Like I'm just saying realistically in the world that we are in where like it's a rivalry conference championship game, like I expect it to kind of be more of a defensive battle. But I mean, we'll see. I mean, I'm curious, but
LSU's quarterback's kind of banged up. They said he is going to play today, so
he could easily get slapped by Georgia's D line and be out, and then what?
true. He could. I don't know. It's kind of a weird game because when they set the line that high, you're kind of like, what do they know?
Yeah, no, you're right.
See, and even though Ohio Toledo game, both their quarterbacks are hurt, I really wouldn't want to bet that. Coastal Carolina, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. TCU Kansas is pretty much toss up. Boise State, I like. Michigan versus Purdue, they kind of got that nuke down to 16.5, like 17. So that's kind of a lot.
Well, Quorum's out for the rest of the year.
Yeah, it's Purdue though. I mean, Michigan's gonna win, but I don't like. That's a lot of points. I've seen Michigan flop before, come
Yeah.
back, cover some garbage time or something.
Well, and Purdue's going to play hype. They're going to play hype, I mean, it's a conference championship game. I don't expect them to just roll over, but it'll be interesting. Interesting. You seen anything? I know you were looking at some college basketball. I'm just so pissed. So Bryce is more of a DraftKings guy. I'm more of a FanDuel guy. And I've been looking. I'm just going to call it lucky this week and put together like a college basketball player prop to score 15 points parlay. And I ended up flipping a pretty big parlay. It was about plus 4,087. So let me know, a long shot. I flipped it $2 and no, that's not the right one. Let me find it. Oh, 49.03 actually, even longer. And I flipped that from $2.50 to 125. So I was like, oh, okay, well, let me try. I'll just cook up like a little small college basketball, parlay. And I'm looking at this slate and I'm like, there's a lot of games. Dude, Notre Dame, Syracuse fucking player props at 9:30 a.m. And it's still, I can't bet any player props. I can't bet anybody's points. I can't. And yet Bryce on DraftKings has had player prop lines open on this game since what, 7 this morning? Probably about 7.
Yeah, around 7 or 8, they had some open. They're starting to open up the same game parlays now, so it actually you can go in and kind of get ahead.
Yeah, it's just kind of weird circumstances, but a little frustrated by that. So, what else is going on in the sporting world? We got USA. Bryce is anti-America. He wants Netherlands to win.
It's just a trap. DK's already put out a no sweat if USA doesn't win in regulation. So I already see some stipulations going to go on. Some BS is going to happen.
So maybe USA wins in the post.
They're going to either win in PKs and they're going to screw everyone over on their bet, or Netherlands is just going to win. But Netherlands is probably better. So
you're not feeling it, huh?
I don't know. It's it's like how there's a lot of college basketball on today. There's a lot of this. I could take the free bet from DK and it covers you, but what happens if it goes into PKs?
Right. No, that's fair.
Netherlands is still plus what Netherlands for how good they are, like to win plus 100 is literally what USA was last week, plus 100 to win.
I'm sitting here cooking up this 2 touchdown parlay here, and I'm like, just messing around with it, and so far I've got what's the name? What do you think of Josh Downs scoring twice on Clemson?
Who is that? UNC's running back?
Their wide receiver, their stud wide receiver. Against Clemson's iffy secondary.
Probably wouldn't be terrible if you're looking to. I mean, you could him or Will Shipley.
Will Shipley's minus 125 for 2 touchdowns. Downs is plus 380, but North Carolina's defense is literal Swiss cheese. So
You got
Shipley,
some. Yours are anytime though too. I don't know if Will Shipley scores on receiving or not, but I think 1.5 on DK was like plus 160 for 2 rushing touchdowns.
for Shipley,
Yeah.
that's got good juice, bro. Dude, North Carolina's defense is absolutely mud butt.
Let me go see because I remember looking at. You peeped that earlier.
Yeah,
Oh, Netherlands went to minus 105.
Ole, 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 ole.
USA went up to plus 320.
Money line?
Yeah.
Jesus. I don't think it's that tilted on FanDuel. Let me look.
I guarantee you it's right around the same thing. There's no way they don't have that around the
USA
same
is
thing.
plus 188.
On
Netherlands
FanDuel?
is yeah. USA is plus 188. Netherlands minus 235.
FanDuel is Jewing you, dude. You could get a draw on this game for plus 240.
You can't bet. It can't end in a. Are you saying in regulation it ends in a draw?
Yeah, I think that's what that means. Like when it says
I was going to
draw on
say
this.
it can't end in a draw. Somebody's got to win because it's
It's a knockout stage.
Yeah.
What was I looking up? Will Shipley touchdowns?
Yeah. You probably get extra juice because DK's bitches and they specify rushing touchdowns. It's not anytime.
Yeah, anytime touchdown. Will Shipley's minus 800.
Yeah, that's buns. But
For rush TDs, Will Shipley over 1.5 is plus 180.
I mean, honestly, he legit could get that.
That's not that bad. I mean, we'll check his stats out real quick. I don't know. It's not like for someone to score 2 touchdowns, you feel like you should get some at least plus 200 sometimes, but understandably, he's playing a shit team.
Yeah, like Donovan Edwards to score 2 tuds is minus 110. Shipley's minus 125.
Oh, Shipley scores a fucking lot, dude. He's like a touchdown factory.
I just don't think that. So as of now, I could get Deuce Vaughn, Kimani Vidal, Will Shipley, and then them all to score 2 touchdowns is still only a plus 830.
Yeah, I don't like that. That's not even enough.
That's not enough juice for 3 2-touchdown scores.
No, and I don't even like the whole value of like. I think the game script could flip on a lot of these people, but I don't know. Shipley actually might be the most one I'm confident in after looking at his stats because this dude's like a guaranteed 1 touchdown a game, and he has gotten 2 in some games.
Yeah, but you said that you also did say Coastal Carolina, Swiss cheese, Deuce Vaughn could easily, snap off. Like,
Yeah, but you're playing that. If you're gonna already play those what ifs, you might as well have way better long shots because there's still a lot of what ifs.
You're right. That's not enough juice to parlay that. Like for you to need somebody to score 2 touchdowns in a conference championship game, and that's all you're getting, like that's bad. I thought I'd get something a little better than that. I mean, still can't fucking bet any player props on Notre Dame Syracuse 936. Are there anyone else open? Can't bet it there. I'm trying to find actually, they're not just going to open it up for shit, but there's literally just nothing. Like
they might. Well, there's football on today. There's NBA on.
Yeah, but still, you got to give me something here. There's some boosts on FanDuel for 45 plus total points to be scored in UGA versus LSU and Michigan to win by 14. plus 170. I don't. That's why I was saying, dude. I'm telling you, like I feel like LSU Georgia might smack under.
Does kind of feel like a trap.
Mm-hmm. Then there's another some juice, Christian Pulisic. That's the dude from US. For him to score a goal in regulation is plus 650.
What happened? I mean, he got kind of banged up though, so I don't. Is he gonna
He
play the
got
whole game or?
he got hit in the nuts. Supposedly he's good to go.
I thought he said he didn't get hit in the nuts.
Everybody else is saying he got hit in the nuts. So then you have USA and Argentina to each score one goal. And that's only plus 100, so I don't like that at all.
Yeah, they're basically the books thinks Argentina's a gimme probably.
Yeah, but the USA is definitely not a gimme.
No.
Man, I don't know. It's kind of a tough betting day. My advice would be to not force your plays if you don't really like something.
Well, there's just so much, even live betting. If you really wanted to bet and you're unsure, like some of these games, I wouldn't even worry about doing it until you just sit there and watch the game, and then you can kind of get the flow.
Dude, there's TCU has got 80% of the spread.
What happened? USC had 80% of the spread yesterday, I think.
That's
Didn't they?
crazy, bro. I really just got this weird feeling that K-State might just clip them.
They could. I've literally seen it both ways, but for me watching both teams, man, I wouldn't feel good about laying that on them. And if they do shut down Deuce Vaughn somehow and they start scoring a crap load of points, I don't know.
Okay, but here's the thing though. This is the committee. Here's conspiracy theory. The committee. Okay, so last week I thought some of it. I thought some of it was that they didn't want USC in the playoffs, so that I thought Notre Dame was going to be the team to put them down. You know what I mean? Like they don't want that. So I was wrong, but then Utah turns around and beats them conference championship. Nobody wants TCU in the playoff. It would be literally, the CFB committee getting their way and everybody else getting their way. If TCU loses, the committee gets to put in Ohio State and Bama, and then we're sitting here with what should be Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Ohio State 3, Bama 4.
Just how everyone thought it would be.
Yep. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like this whole year is played out and everybody thinks that it's all clear and good. And I'm just kind of feeling this little conspiracy to get Bama in. And then you get some of the best shit. Like you get a Georgia Bama game and you get another rematch of Ohio State Michigan. And I'm not going to lie to you. I know Michigan kind of put it on Ohio State. I don't know that Michigan wants to see Ohio State though a second time. Because it's kind of hard to beat people twice because they learn things in those games.
Well, that and you get time to prep when you're in the playoffs. You're going to have weeks on weeks on weeks to watch film of the same team. You're going to almost know everything about that team before you play them, especially if your coach is good at prepping. There's some coaches in college that do really good in bowl games specifically because when they get extra time to prep, they're just that much better.
Yeah, so that would be crazy. Like a Michigan Ohio State rematch and a Bama Georgia rematch would be nutty. I mean, that's great television. I mean, it is. Now the interesting thing would be, would the committee bump Bama to 3 and Ohio State to 4 to avoid the rematch?
I don't know how they're going to do it, man. It's just I'm so tired of the same 4 teams. I wanted USC to win just so it would be different.
Yeah, no, I get that. But, well, that's about all I've got today. Bryce, you have anything else?
No, that'd do me. Hopefully, we put out TCU money line, that UCF Tulane over 57, Boise State, Fresno State, Boise money line.
Vidal and Vaughn touchdowns, 2 touchdowns apiece. Those are my two. If I had to force a third, man, I don't know. Shipley minus 125, 2 tuds. That's not a
If
bad
you want the
trade.
rushing, I think if you're gonna take Shipley 2 touchdowns, I would say take the rushing and take it on DK for plus 180. That's so much
Yeah, that's
better.
probably better value.
He scored a rushing touchdown in his last 5 games and had 2 in one of his last 5. So
Yeah, they should run all over North Carolina. Their defense is mud. But that's going to do it for us. So we'll see you next week for a roundup. Maybe we'll try to get something in during the week this week, Bryce. Maybe we'll try to get something in maybe midweek, do some college basketball stuff or some NBA stuff just to be different because college football is wrapping up. So we kind of got to be we got to start doing something different. So we'll figure it out. We'll try to give some advance notice. We'll see if we can get Tyler back if he's feeling better. So we'll let you know, and we'll see you guys next week.